The Volquest 2-minute drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Craven Wings 2-minute drill, Tennessee kicking off spring practice 2023. Heard from Josh Heupel afterwards. It's clear he likes his team. He loves the competitiveness and the competitive depth that he has with this group.
Yeah, no doubt, and we've talked about that all offseason.
He stopped just short of saying that you and I, my joke of you and I played linebacker the first year.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a shell of where they were, a couple of years ago. And that's a credit to recruiting, that's a credit to evaluations in recruiting, retention,
health.
and health, and landing some guys in
Sure.
the transfer portal that has built some depth that they've not had at a lot of positions that should make this team better come the end of spring practice.
Speaking of additions out of the transfer portal, Dante Thornton started at slot, just like we expected. He's going to learn that spot first, and then I think once he's mastered that, then bump out and place him outside. But I think they want him to learn the slot position first, have he and Squirrel as kind of a tandem there, and then they have more depth at the wide receiver spot. And they just, outside of Squirrel, who else? They don't have a lot of depth or experience at the slot position, so it makes a lot of sense to kind of start him off there. As for Cam Selton, he starts at running back.
Yeah, he starts at running back, and he'll get an opportunity later on in spring maybe to get introduced to some things in the passing game. They're not going to, I don't think, move him out to a receiver position the back half of spring, but get introduced to some passing concepts and some things that they can do with the running backs and kind of integrate him a little bit in the passing game there. And it's going to be about how much, Cam Selton can handle. There's a difference between Cam Selton and Dante Thornton. Thornton's been in college meeting rooms. He's been through college practices. He's been through game planning and all those things. So there's probably a lot more comfortability with moving him around, but they want him to learn that slot position. It's the most complex, most integrated spot in this offense for Tennessee. And then for Cam Selton, it's a little bit more spoon-fed. How much can you handle? You don't want to overload him and slow him down, but I tell you what, you see him running around. He's a big, pretty son of a gun running around on the practice field.
I was going to say that there might be some differences, but the similarity is they're both getting off the bus first because they both look good out there running around. You asked Josh Heupel specifically about the offensive tackle situation. You got four guys that have got experience, but a lot of them have played on the left side, not much right side work. How do you cross train, and do you feel like that's a thing? What do you think of his answer?
Well, and I think that it's about finding the best two, and you're going to take this spring to figure out who the best two are and who can play on the right side and who can play on the left side. Can all of them be flexible and play both sides? Probably not at the end of the day, but I think you have to take a look at everybody there once you get into pads and kind of see who can handle playing on the right versus playing on the left. Who's more comfortable where? Who's that? I mean, because you had, this notion that Gerald Mincy can only play left, right? And J.J. Crawford's a left, and Campbell's a left. Well, somebody has to play the right side, and so
you can't walk if you got two left feet.
That's exactly right. So who's that going to be? And I think that's what you go through the process, and that's the beautiful part of spring is you take and try to spend some time figuring that out.
Josh Heupel acknowledged that they've got to continue to grow on defense, especially in the back end, and they've got a lot more bodies back there this spring to kind of figure things out, which means a lot more competition, but you got to kind of weed through who can help and who can't over the next 14 practices after today.
And who plays where, right? Yeah. Who's a safety? Who's a nickel? Who's a corner, right? Where is Christian Charles playing? Where is Christian Harrison playing? Where's Turrentine? Where's Wesley Walker? All these things you got to wade through a little bit of who's what, when, where, and how, position-wise, and that's what spring's about. And the beauty of that is 2 years ago it was just, and even last year, it was just try to get five guys out there. Now you can move guys around and really evaluate and really look at them in ways that you haven't to this point in your tenure at Tennessee.
He is Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. Craven Wings 2-minute drill. Tennessee kicking off spring practice 2023. Don't forget all the locations of Craven Wings, and don't forget we're only 2 days away from Wing Ding Wednesday.
When you're craving wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.